Hi, my name is Gerhard Schwantner. Welcome to Selling Power TV. Today we have the great pleasure of meeting with C. Lee Smith, and he's the author of a new book called Hire Smarter, Sell More. Thank you.
It's great to be with you, Gerhard.
What caused you to, write this book? There's a lot of work. You probably worked for 9 months on that.
Well, 9 months just on the book, 5 years really of research,
Right.
and also pain in the making. I mean, it's like
Right.
that's where artistry comes from.
Yeah.
It comes from pain. And so my personal pain was that I hired a toxic salesperson, and this person was the archetype that we know as a jungle fighter, which is the worst, most toxic personality type that you can hire in sales. So this is the person that actually has the zero-sum game where it's like, for me to win, you must lose, and I will stop at no cost or whatever to make sure that you lose, and I'm the winner in that situation. So it started there, and then that became a journey then of investigating other people's hiring practices, taking their best practices, talking to psychologists, behavioral analysts, even employment law experts, and just trying to figure out really the best way then to detect these types of people before they get too far in the hiring process, which led me then to data.
So today you were leading a session and you asked people to raise their hands. How many of you have ever hired a toxic salesperson? And almost every hand went up. Mm-hmm. What causes toxicity? Is this something that the salesperson brings to the job, or that is a reaction to the sales manager?
That's a great question, because it's actually a little bit of both. Because in many cases, though, the salesperson themselves has predisposition then to be toxic. And what happens sometimes, like in a jungle fighter, they're always going to be toxic. But for many of the other toxic archetypes that we've identified, they need a trigger event. And that trigger event is either a manager whose decisions they don't like. It could be the culture within the company. It could be coworkers. It could be the company itself. But in many cases, though, it's the managers in about half the cases.
So is it possible, if the manager gets the right education, that they can help detoxify the salesperson?
It absolutely does. That's the easiest thing to change. It starts with the manager, because they have such an impact on every single salesperson. It is the person within the company that the salesperson should be interacting the most with. And so therefore, the easiest thing to change, though, is you change one person, you improve the entire team.
So you mentioned archetypes. Can you give me 3 that we can discuss?
So some of the most common that people talk about, jungle fighter, I mentioned drama llama. I hired a drama llama as well. The drama llama actually hired the jungle fighter. And so the lesson learned there is to never hire somebody toxic, or never put somebody who's toxic on your hiring team, because to them, toxic looks normal. And so it increases the chances of someone toxic actually working their way through the system. They need to feel put upon or taken advantage of so they can be dramatic about it. So it's something in their makeup then that really requires them to be taken advantage of. That's what they're looking for. Some of the other ones that come up, the cynic is another one that a lot of my clients have worked with. So this is the person then, no matter what you say, always negative, always looking for a reason why something can't be done, or their knee-jerk reaction is, if you say anything to them, it's like, I'm going to take the opposite position and call you out on it and tell you why you're wrong. And so that infuriates a lot of people.
So how do you call the cynic? Is there a term for that?
Well, the cynic is actually the name we gave that archetype.
Oh, got it.
So we actually,
okay.
So we have another one called the exploiter, for example. This is a person where information is currency. So they go around, they ask a lot of questions, and it's not because they're curious for your well benefit. It's because they're gathering up information that they can actually use tactically, right. Then either to gain a position within a company or for their situation.
So how do you reverse that last type? That's really fascinating. As a sales manager, what do you do?
The first thing you have to do is you have to know what you're dealing with. So you have to know what to look for. You have to be able to identify what you're working with. If you're working with one of the 13 different archetypes, you have toxicity on your hands. But also there are other things that happen that make you aware that you have toxicity. And it's not usually someone coming and telling you about it. So usually people are afraid to come and tell you about it. Or maybe they think that, that it's not there, or that you're going to think bad about them for coming to tell you about it. So normally if you see things like anger, sadness, people being despondent, type of stress that carries over to the home life and then circles back around. When you see your attrition rate obviously increase, or the amount of PTO that people are taking, those are usually great indicators. So you start there, and then you have to work with each individual person as an individual based on what their mindset is.
Well, thank you so much for sharing about the book. Where can people get it? When does it come out?
It comes out mid-April of 2020. Go to Amazon.com. You'll find it there. That's the first place it drops. Get it on your Kindle. But then after, always, it's going to be available in paperback and in hardback.
Wonderful. Also look up his website, which is salesfuel.com.
And the hiring platform, which is a great SaaS platform that brings these talent analytics to the fore, that's called SalesFuel Hire. You can actually get to that at hiresmarter.com.
Awesome. Thank you.